The president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, is dead after a helicopter crash. Was there foul play involved? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, being pronounced dead after a brutal, gruesome helicopter crash. Now, he was not the only one to pass away during this crash. There were also other high-ranking officials who passed away alongside him. Now, before I say anything else, may he rest in peace. Prayers out to his family, and may everyone else rest in peace and prayers out to their family as well. I know this is going to be kind of sensitive for some people who are Iranian, or you may have family over there, because some people hated this man. He was prominent in the 80s in the prosecution of political prisoners. And when I mean prosecution, I mean execution. After the Iranian Revolution, he was key in enforcing the hijab rule on the women. So this is a very sensitive topic, and I'm going to be respectful as possible. But he is gone, and others died alongside him. Now, some are going to say it was foul play. Some are going to say it was the Israelis. I've not heard that even from the Iranians, so that might not be the right thing. I think what happened here is kind of like the Kobe Bryant situation, where bad weather got involved, there was fog, and an accident happened as a result. Now, we got a lot to get through here. Let's check this out. You see what it says, live updates, Iran's president killed in helicopter crash. Election set for next month. So there was an election, and he was up for re-election. Some could say this was foul play. It was sabotage from the inside that made a helicopter crash because they wanted him out of the way. I don't really know why. He's been in Iran in politics for a very long time. Why would they do this right now? I don't know. Now, one thing I got to just kind of clear up. This is not the Ayatollah, okay? Khamenei, that's not him. That's a whole different person. That's like the supreme leader. Then you have the president. It's a little bit different. Maybe it's like how they do in UK, where they have the king and queen of England, and then they have the prime minister. It could be something like that, but different story. I digress. Now, the president, Raisi, could have been the next Ayatollah. Okay, that's possible because the current Ayatollah is like 85 years old, and Raisi was like 63 or so. So you could have been the next in line after the current Ayatollah passes away or whatever it is. But obviously, that's not going to happen right now. And you see, this is some of the footage. This is a picture from the actual crash site. And this happened in East Azerbaijan in Iran, which is on the border of the country Azerbaijan. Okay, so we're talking about up there by Armenia, Georgia, Dagestan, you know, kind of close to Russia, that particular region, north and west of Iran. All right, now there's a lot more we're going to get into. Okay, so this is some footage of them on the ground trying to find the site. You see, I guess they got a drone, operating the drone, and they're trying to find it. This is from media out there in Iran. All right, and ultimately they were able to find where he was. Now, this caption from Yashar Ali, and I think Yashar is Iranian, if I'm not mistaken. You see what it says here: Ibrahim Raisi, the president of the Islamic Republic of Iran, has been killed in a helicopter crash. Raisi helped to oversee a mass execution of political prisoners in the late 1980s, and as president, he escalated enforcement of the hijab law and increased repression against the people of Iran. Okay, so again, some are not going to like this guy too much, although he was elected. Some are not going to like him. Now, here's a more up-close picture of the crash site. So that's where it was right there. Okay, you can kind of see some of the carcass of the helicopter. And again, he was not the only one to pass away during the situation. There were others who died in the crash. Now, $1 million question: why was the president of Iran in such a precarious situation? Shouldn't have been a more secure helicopter? Maybe not be in the helicopter, maybe be in the airplane. I don't really know all the details, but I do know that accidents happen. Although right before an election in a part of the world that's kind of unstable, you got to ask, was there any foul play involved? I don't think that it was the Israelis, like some are going to say. because we know what's happening with the Iranians and the Houthis and the Israelis and the Palestinians and the Lebanese. We know what's happening over there in that part of the world. Some could say this is part of that. We know what the U.S. is doing over there in Iran. You got the Iran nuclear deal and sanctions and military bases. All of that could be involved. But what I think happened right now is that it was a pure accident, or it was some internal strife in Iran that caused this to happen. Now, before I go any further, let's get to a news clip here. And of course, I will link to everything in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
This morning, Iran's president and several other leaders have been found dead at this helicopter crash site. President Ibrahim Raisi, Iran's foreign minister, and 7 others were aboard the aircraft. Drone video shows the site on a steep wooded hillside, little of the aircraft remaining beyond its blue and white tail. Raisi, seen here in the helicopter on Sunday, traveling to the Iranian border with Azerbaijan for an event. Heavy fog blanketed the area of northwest Iran, making it difficult for search and rescue teams to locate the aircraft.
So you see how dense this fog is. I mean, that right there could be part of the reason why the helicopter crashed. Now, if it's me and I'm the president, or at least whoever's going to be piloting this aircraft, I'm going to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't go by helicopter in this fog, or maybe we should just postpone the trip. You can't even really see on the ground while you're driving. There's like zero visibility. So why would you travel in these conditions? Maybe they've done it before. Maybe they're used to it in this particular part of the world. I don't really know. But I would say go ahead and postpone the travel until we get the weather cleared up, because this is like the Kobe Bryant situation. It was the same thing. It was hills and the mountains, and they couldn't really determine where they were, if they were above or below where they needed to be. And then the crash happened, and tragedy resulted from the crash.
After a more than 12-hour search, drones provided by Turkey using thermal cameras pinpointed the crash site. Overnight Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer saying there was no evidence of foul play.
It looks like an accident. There was very bad foggy weather in northwest Iran where the copter crashed.
Elected in 2021, President Raisi was a hardliner and the second most powerful figure in Iran. He was seen as a top contender for replacing Ayatollah Khomeini, who vows after the crash there will be no disruption to state affairs. But just weeks after Iran and Israel launched unprecedented strikes on each other, experts are questioning how a transition of power in Iran could affect a region already in turmoil.
It's going to be a big mess, because that right there, what's happening between Israel and Iran, that's like the beginnings of a World War III. I mean, I don't think it's going to get anywhere beyond where it is, but this is not going to make matters better. This is going to complicate things a lot more than what they already are. So, yeah, keep an eye out on that. This could really escalate to a place where it really shouldn't be.
Nuclear issue is part of them. The regional peace and conditions are part of them. These are all going to be politically relevant issues in the years to come.
Iran's constitution mandates a new president must be elected within the next 50 days.
Okay, so they had 50 days to replace this man. Now, $1 million question. How are they going to replace this man so quickly? I mean, he had been in office for a short period of time, but before that, he was already well known in Iranian politics, been around since the 80s, and involved in what they got going on. So are you just going to find some random guy on the street? How about the challenger? Is there an issue with different people in Iran? Do we have the Sunni Shia thing happening in Iran? I don't really know, so please pardon my ignorance, but how are they going to find somebody to replace this man in a very short period of time? I don't really know. But as I close, I want to say this. I think this was an accident. And if it wasn't, I don't think it was external. I think it was internal. But 80% of my opinion is with the accident part, which could point to incompetence, because why would you travel in such conditions? Maybe they did it before and it wasn't really a big deal. They thought they can just go ahead and get away with it. They're not going that far. They're going to the neighboring country, is right there in that general region. But unfortunately, things did not work out the way they thought they would. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts on what happened here? Do you think the president was assassinated? Do you think it was a pure accident? Do you think it was internal? Do you think it was external? Israel, USA, some other country, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. The majority of my thinking is with an accident. If this was not accidental and it was internal, it won't be a big deal for us. It'd be a big deal for them inside of Iran, but not for us on the outside. Now, if this was external and they can prove it and they got physical evidence, that's going to be really, really, really bad for the entire world, because now you're escalating things rather than taking out guys like Soleimani and whatnot, some of these generals. You're taking out the president. I mean, what's next? The Ayatollah himself? Don't do it. Bad news. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.